So, about a year and a half ago now, during September 2022, I started back going by the way I said it was a story to tell, and later today began the Rider Trail, and trying to tell that story for 10 years, and love queer people in the transit community, and just love for us and holding back a lot of baggage. Without regard, I think for 10th anniversary, I think it's time to go and tell the story of On the Go. So where our story begins, picking up from back over there at the Wayne Arts Center. They're two sisters, basically twins. Summer camp. One, say, more high function. The other not so much. Not the point. But anyways, they're right behind me also in acting and stuff like that. And I mentioned that I knew Lizzie McGon, and said, oh, she has a sister. Oh, pretty interesting. And at that time, performing whole world stories with friends and all, and Lizzie and her crew being the main villains, which they would more often having a female counterpart called the Rosens that year, kind of like playing pink berets, stuff like that. More militaristic, like guard type deal versus the agents, or a film of a spy motif. So that led into sort of at one point in a parody adaptation of Top of Ahad, which was obviously being released in the theaters at the time. That Bryce and Anna would swap sides during the story after that, which is called The Reaching 2.0, where they were getting more like an Ninjago based arc with where the power team. The system was probably a bit more like after The Last Airbender, although it is very much, it's more closer to like sort of like Ninjago sort of what it was being inspired from. I didn't watch, I would really sit down and watch until went on to streaming in 2020-2021 timeframe. So I kind of like the thoughts began to ruminate with that, and explaining a sister, and sort of coming to there and trying to build. Definitely talked a few times, stuff, and then high school obviously year ahead. Kind of lost thought of it for a while, though those stories were still my mind had never really got any like new outside that whole like agency universe, and so they still kind of fit through because all the upper division school days 5 through 12 kind of like a whole arc, and then continuing into sort of like adulthood with the great final war that would end very Ninjago style with the original series where Anna would be the chosen one and all of that. So I think that her coming out and changing her name to Ashton, so like putting on a pedestal, maybe even not like having it or like a romantic idea that I had sort of like in that story world, or even thought about even at the time. Still like putting her on sort of like a pedestal as a chosen one, sort of like going against those ideals really sort of messed with me. My dad has friends from college who are together, and they have a cat. That's not the point. He has two friends are a couple. So I've been introduced to a same-sex couple before, but it was just like, and I remember my friend James at the time, he had a long-distance boyfriend. Didn't look too shabby if I do say so. But Yeah, I'm sort of like thinking about like polls in 2016, sort of like leading to that era as well. So much on my mind and to fight for, and so I think that greatly sort of like changed from my sense of justice or like political opinion, you would think, or a better way to understand, but I would just say sense of justice just because of my electoral. Also kind of got into around the same time that Anna came out. Not really, I don't think there's really any connection, though, just Power 2017 movie. It's coming out and kind of got up with that. I was like remembering kind of my childhood. But yeah, definitely a bit more than Chicago. Yeah, I think the agents, that kind of idea was going by the Lego agency for like 2006, 2008 time frame. Wasn't there, but I got the feeling anyway. Yeah, it made me change my sense of justice, and still just hard for me. I want to try and fix my connection to the community community. That kind of obviously Power Rangers thing I wrote, and it basically using the inserts from the Denziman and Sun Vulcan, which is very early Sentai series. Actually, it is connected. I have created my first Power Rangers fan fiction series called Power Rangers GSX, because that the queer club in my school was called the Gender and Sexuality Alliance. Before that was just the Gay Straight Alliance, and so they simply worded it to be more diverse, and based on that, and the teacher, although the mentor in the adaptations are much younger than the actual teacher who is sponsoring the club in reality, and then Austin started to play on two of like a tech shop characters. The art department characters, so yeah, I've definitely been on the older end, and not like sort of retired when I was still in school there, but great guy who still think I was stage school. It's like college as a fresh heart. Everybody took it by the horns. Some of that is probably because some of that is just from my personality. Some of that is definitely COVID. The first group of people, and in a sophomore year, other people that were on the spectrum or had different disabilities like me, so that was nice. What was that first semester? No, that was first semester of after COVID was that, I believe. And then sophomore year there was a girl, and then she was out, and then two kids were great. They were good. And I was like, fine, decent, not good, not bad. Neither the type of personality, but like not really doing anything. I go from what I could tell. Give them a little more than their share, but that's not the point. Could have gone more with like the clubs and stuff, but I kind of really wanted to go my own way, and finally senior year, particularly super senior year, the final semester I had, fall 22, kind of got that chance with a group, and I feel it really backfired, in my opinion. That didn't really help me in like a mental sense or through that, but I think most of the issues now really just caught. Like, I never liked them. The minute I never. Voice always just sounding annoying, and could never really stand them. Kind of felt immediately with Kim Dykes as well. To be fair, even though part of her being a teacher also kind of led me to want to be a teacher now, but it's all a mess. I did recently find out that he's still around. Named Ashton back in the day. I think he's like business stuff, both lives in Ashton, went to college in Delaware. I'm assuming they're both living in Delaware. I think Lizzie was going to politics or politics or law or something. I don't quite remember what Ashton was up to. It's good to see that he's still around. Yeah, so apologize, but I think this enough is apology enough to just lay it out in public. Told my professors this times, told my therapist this, multiple therapists actually. But yeah, I feel coming clean from these little stories I was working on. Basically what was going behind the scenes, basically the past 10 years channel, dealing with the agency story that I was kind of brought up in the old Lego videos I took down a long time ago. It was it's really poor. I think what else I was mostly taken out probably during the pandemic, I believe, is that definitely whenever I stopped really being just a segment being a gamer, trying to go head on with theme park stuff on my old channel, which is still basically dead, but it's called Lindsay TV Film, and it was because of pandemics. I've really enjoying watching TV and all the stories about there. Definitely feeling more like being film history is only what I liked, since there's nothing my knack, but I feel too rigid in teaching history, at least in high school, but there's probably only a bit more flexibility for college teaching, but just felt restricted for that. And it was English, at least for Pennsylvania, I can do English studies, and that can work toward film stuff as well, so hopefully I can do both. And I know who does TV, Susan Gregory, she's now stuck doing English only, and there's a dedicated film teacher for everybody now. This radio is pretty nice. If Ferry sees this, fun little details from that. Little moment of anything else, or building up that story everybody from those school days. Kind of mixing it up, I feel maybe in my mind I really kind of maybe overhated some people a bit. Or just feeling too generalized, I would say, in that regard. It's just sort of the opinion of, it's kind of I hope you'll kind of talk down a generation in general. I was talking down my own generation, to be frank. Tell more people spending a year or two of me more so kid, nice shots Declan, and there's Stefan, and all people are a few years younger than me, a few years older than me, Uncle Crowley. A bunch of good people, a lot of good people in my while abroad. But some of you didn't get to see on the Bora. Some nice, really nice people. At some point, this is not Ashton. There's definitely a lot of people to talk to and see how they're doing in some form, But yeah, I'm starting to ramble. My bus should be here soon. I'm just going down a ways to get my eyes checked. Just want to get a baseline. So without anything else to say, subscribe, strike the bell, and the 10 years of storytelling. The stores have been closed for a little bit. I remember having a lot of family meals and friends and cousins having dinner. I was at an Italian restaurant. I think COVID killed it. It was just after something like that. But, telling a story like I did today, I feel every story deserves to be told, and that's why I'm going for it. Officially announcing that I want to establish a podcast via the Substack. That's one of the things I just want to keep with the Substack, is that I can easily establish a podcast through it. It's going to pick up where the Nothing podcast with Nobody Porno picks up. Picking up from that. Matt Hunt, who from the Token side, because he was part of the crew of that. I'm I really like that, kind of miss it, but I'll pick it from them, and also Coaster Challenge 6 as well. But I just want to be like, you know, to the coach community or the Coke community. Because I feel everyone's story deserves to be told. That's why I'm going to call the podcast History and Leisure Storytellers. Don't know when the first one will be. Who's going to be on the first few episodes. Do have a few people in mind. But, yeah. Again, thank you for watching. We should be back in business in March.